All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Let's get into what we have this morning. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right. So let's get into the SPY a little bit. We were down 2%, which almost basically feels like nothing. It's pretty much flat for what we're getting
Yeah.
used to. I mean, 2% is nothing. So, Norm, what's going on this morning? Any news besides what we know already? I mean, this is not pretty much a big movement to what we're used to.
Yeah, same stuff that we've had going on, obviously. We did just have weekly jobless claims come out, and that came in at 281,000 jobless claims versus an estimate of 220. So, as anticipated, some layoffs have begun. That was last week. They started, so it came in a little hotter than expected. Be really interesting to see how these come in the next few weeks. Um, as far as economic data this today, other than the jobless claims, we also had Philly Fed manufacturing that just came out. I have not really had a chance to look at that, but I'm pretty sure everybody's anticipating that comes into a grinding halt at 10 a.m. We have some leading economic indicators coming out. All that having been said, overnight, the futures actually plummeted and then came back to green and have now fallen back off, like you said, about 2%. We've got a little bit of bounce off this larger than expected number. Thinking maybe the fact that they're starting earlier than anticipated, maybe the market's seeing that as spurring some kind of action to try to help out even more than uh, people are. I mean, it's not a huge bounce, but well, I think we were 2.5% down or so when we started a few minutes ago, and now we've come up a little bit off that bottom. Um, what else, Carlos? What else? There was something I was going to specifically talk about. Yep. So if you look at a spy chart from yesterday, the spy and the VIX went wild, and yesterday was up in the 80-ish range. What it was the high yesterday? The high it actually topped out the same as the high before, essentially 85. It beat it by a hair, 85.47, which is massively high. And the fact that we just continue to sit at this high level while the market melts away is a little concerning. We're not peaking and then falling off or any of that. So just continue to slide downward. Yesterday, CNBC interviewed Bill Ackman, who's a investor, hedge fund guy, and famous for his getting killed on his short of Herbalife a few years ago against Carl Icahn. But he essentially had a meltdown on live TV talking about the end of the world, yada, yada, yada. But he's buying stocks and
Yeah.
he's making a ton of money off the market going down at the same time. So, it's kind of speaking out both sides of your mouth. He loves publicity, and scaring the hell out of people on TV is
Right.
part of what it coincided with the spy drop yesterday. So I think that was actually a big piece of it. We'll see. We'll see how we recover from it today.
That's great though. War's gonna end, but hey, hold on a second. Let me buy a few stocks here so we can hold for the future.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, he sent out a money. He sent out a letter to the people that he manages money for recently that was publicized yesterday, and it's like, yeah, we have long positions, but we're also hedged against this. We're actually making more money as the market goes down than we would if it was going up. So, you know, he's famous for it. He bashed when he took a massive Herbalife short, bashed the company, put out PR stuff against them. Actually, the SEC looked into him and all kinds of stuff. The guy lost like $500 million or more, $1 billion in that short. And it was all big PR campaign against the company. Whether you think Herbalife's decent or not is irrelevant to the story. It was just the way he did it. So he's doing the same kind of crap, except for he's playing with the American economy and scaring the hell out of people. So and one other thing, guys, watch the language in the chat. We've been a little bit loose with it recently, but I don't disagree with your sentiments. But that's all right. That's all right. We've been loose with it recently, but we're gonna tighten back in the reins a little bit on the language. So anyway, that's kind of what happened yesterday. We recovered a decent amount from it yesterday morning,
Hmm.
and then, like I said, futures dropped overnight and then came back up. So we'll see. This feels like a nothing happening day to me, Carlos.
Yeah, it's pretty much flat, guys. Right now, again, our range has been pretty much widened quite a bit, given the last couple of days going back since what day is this here? We're looking at February 20th, maybe February 21st. That's when we started getting the big drops here. Things started getting very serious with the coronavirus and the market. Overall, the coronavirus has been out for well before this, but this is when the market really started hitting here in the U.S. and kind of changing things a little bit of the economy. So let's get into what we have in our gappers list this morning. Actually, this list is not as bad as we have seen in the past, so we probably can get through some of these fairly quickly. Let's start at the top with APRN. This is one, guys, that has been, again, just blowing up insane the last couple of days. As we know, this is a food delivery service. This is a company that has been basically in the trash can for a couple of well, ever since it IPO'd. It really has not seen good times. I mean, this thing was trading as high as let's go here over to a weekly chart. I think it was $100 at one point. If we go over to a weekly chart, you can see here at 150 when it IPO. I believe that's the IPO price, not sure. But again, just look at what it's been doing over the last couple of years, just really tanking down, hitting as low as $2 in the recent in this a couple of months or two ago. So again, this thing has not been doing well. But with everything going on here, they see an opportunity to kind of increase their services. They are gapping up huge over the last couple of days. Going to remove some of these levels. We'll get into those in a second. And you can see here, here was the 16. Here's the 17. Here we have the 18, and then here we have today, gapping up 44.5%, 1 million shares traded. Great pre-market activity, guys. This is one to definitely keep an eye on and watch. Now, this is a low flow stock. I believe the float on this one is
8
8.3.
million.
Yeah, 8 million.
Yeah.
So again, you have to be extremely cautious. But again, there are some opportunities if you're trading that type of style, you have experience and you know how to manage your risk properly. You can take some opportunities of this. Two things are happening here. Obviously, they're taking advantage of the services. And Norm mentioned yesterday they had a very high short interest, which by now I highly doubt is going to be 48%. I assume a lot of people probably bailed out of this already once it started breaking down some
Carlos,
of
can you
these levels.
can you turn your gain up?
Yeah, gain is a
A
little
few
low.
people on YouTube are saying it's hard to hear us.
All right, hold on a second. All right, how about there? Hope that's a little bit better.
Sorry to interrupt you, man.
No, no, all good, man. Right, so hopefully that is a little bit better there, guys. We'll have to test this out because we're the second time this week we're kind of
Yeah,
getting a little complaints. So
we'll figure it out later
yeah,
today, and we'll have it fixed for tomorrow.
absolutely, guys. We'll check out exactly what's going on with that. So here's APRN, guys. One to watch down here for low flow stock, for a low flow team. Definitely one that's very active. Let's take a look at another one that's coming up here pretty fast. PIXY. So this one is up 45.9% at the moment. This thing is again pretty active right now. Pre-market though, it's not look that great though. I will not be looking at this stock. And look at the flow, guys. 333. Let's get this out the way. 333,000. So that's a very low float. You want to be extra cautious in keeping an eye on a stock like this. Pre-market activity is not all that great. The volume is also not all that great as well. Only 105,000 shares traded. Popped up yesterday. Had a very nice big pop all the way up to 17. Came back down to $9, and today they're up at 13. So again, it is active. We can definitely come back to it and take a look at it. But this is
You
extremely
see the
low
float
float.
on that?
Yeah, I saw. I just mentioned it. Yeah, 333.
300,000 shares.
Yeah. So again, guys, it's not something you want to be messing with. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna condone that type of activity. I'm gonna remove this from my list. That is just an easy way to lose your money, guys. A lot of funny business that can be going on with that type of stock. So just stay away from that. Here we have GRIL. This one is the floor. This one is 5 million shares flow. So another low flow as well. Again, this one doesn't have great volume neither, guys. I like to see when I see a low flow. If I don't trade them, but if I were ever to trade a low flow, this is the type of pre-market activity I want to see. I want to see some real good movement on it, some great volume, and also somewhat of a catalyst, right? This doesn't really have a specific catalyst, but we know they're popping up for a reason. Their reason is, people are probably ordering more food online, and they just happen to be in that business and can take advantage of this opportunity. And now you have a huge short interest that people are getting squeezed on. So again, those are your opportunities that you're getting on APRNs, right? These other ones here, again, just be very cautious on that. I'm just gonna skip GRIL. I'm also gonna skip this one as well, guys. It's not doesn't have a great pre-market activity in here neither. BM. Let's look at BMRA, another low flow, 7 million shares float. This one has a better pre-market activity, a lot cleaner. You can see some movement in here. Had a big day yesterday. What is the biotech company? So again, these biotech companies are taking advantage. They work on any kind of test results or test trials for this virus. That could be a reason they're popping up. A lot of them, you're going to see a lot of them come up in the next a couple of weeks and days to come. So BRMA, guys, we can put it on here. We'll take a look at it later on as we get closer to 9:15. NRZ, see what's going on there. NRZ has this is a larger float stock now, 414 million shares float. The volume on this one is slightly at 110,000 shares traded. Also, look at the drop we had yesterday on this one, bouncing back a little bit. Pre-market, guys, not looking great at all. This is a horrible pre-market activity. So for that reason, I'm not going to put it on here. I'm just going to skip on this one. Right now, this doesn't look great at all. Norm, I know you checked on some stuff. Oh, it's a real estate company too, looks like. A new residential investment. So I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, these are getting hammered.
Yeah. So again, we'll skip on that one. CODX, another one that has been very active. Also a low flow stock sitting at 15 million shares flow. Their daily has been getting extremely choppy lately, guys. You can see that right on here. Again, it doesn't look all that great right now. So again, I don't see anything too exciting. The volume is great. Pre-market's a little bit choppy. It is not up 9.5. We can look at it because I know a lot of you guys are keeping an eye on this and waiting for opportunities, and you're being very patient. And I've seen some good trades off of this. But again, another one that you want to just really wait on. Right now, I don't see anything great. The one that's moving pretty good right now is APRN. So definitely keep an eye on that. Heading down over to Uber. Uber is up. That's some good news on Uber. Uber is up 6.9. It looks like it's just starting to happen right now. So I'm not sure if any news is breaking out on Uber, but Uber a couple of minutes ago just did a nice beautiful pop here, breaking out of the previous day close. So we can definitely keep an eye on Uber. 489,000 shares traded. We'll check into what the news is a little bit later because something seems to be happening now on it. DB, what is DB? DB is a banking company. It does not trade very well. It's also foreign, so for that reason, I'm gonna
It's
take
Deutsche
it off.
Bank. It's a German bank.
Yeah, so
It trades like it trades terribly.
horrible. So we'll skip that one. Let's go over to TCOM this morning. See what we got there. Oh, it looks like a couple of block trades in here. This is Trip.com. Again, and they should be taking a hit. Yeah, here we go. So again, a couple of block trades right now. I don't see any pre-market activity at the moment. So for that reason, I'm just gonna skip on this one. And the last one that's green.
TCOM. So
Yeah.
Trip.com, it's Chinese Expedia, and the fact that they're on the back end of the virus curve, at least so they're saying, has kicked this back up. It got hit real hard, and now it's trying to maybe find a bottom in here since people might be using their services again at some point.
Gotcha. All right, so we can actually take a look at this. Let's take a. It doesn't have great volume right now, but if it has some kind of catalyst behind it, we could definitely take a look at it and see what
Yeah,
happens
and
there.
Carlos, Uber's got a conference call going on with analysts, I think, right now. It started just a few minutes ago. Obviously, we're on the show, and I'm not listening to the call, so I don't know what they're saying, but that's what's popping the price.
All right, gotcha. All right, so we'll keep an eye on Uber here. This looks good. Let's look at AP. Where we at? APDN. So APDN this morning. So this one, not a great pre-market activity. We do have some volume on here, pretty choppy. Had a great day yesterday though, guys. Look at this beautiful pop here. This is a low flow stock though, sitting at 2.9. So again, very low flow at the moment. Had a great day yesterday. We'll take a look at how that is moving. Yeah, we do got some movement here that kind of choppy on yesterday's action, not great volume. So we can throw it down here, see if it gets any better as we review this. But overall, not really liking right now how the pre-market looks. Let's head down over to the top. So that covers our green, anything that's gapping up this morning. Let's look at what's gapping down. Let's go over to the bottom here, down 8.9 this morning. We have Bud. Bud is a foreign stock. It doesn't trade all that well. Today they got somewhat of a okay pre-market activity, 252,000 shares traded. Usually this stock doesn't trade a lot of volume, but today they must have something going on that they got a little bit of more volume trading this morning. So again, I don't usually trade this stock, guys. It's a foreign stock, doesn't trade very well, but we've seen some situations where we had some big days where they has some news, some big news behind it. So if they have some news behind it, we'll come back to it. But overall, I'm not seeing anything all that great right now on BUD. GE is here, down 5.3. GE doesn't move a whole lot. Obviously, down quite a bit with the market, down 5.3, 460,000 shares traded. Again, it doesn't move great. I think some other ones on here that are going to move a lot better that I want to keep an eye on. BA is going to be interesting to watch. They're taking a massive hit. CCL, American Airlines. There are other good ones that I'm going to definitely want to keep an eye on and at least have one of the airlines, one of the cruise liners, and then see what else down here is moving somewhat decent. So I am going to skip on GE for now. Let's do a few more, and then we'll go to the chats and see what you guys have on your end. BTI always comes up on this list, but at the moment, they're 148. Not a great pre-market activity. Again, it's a foreign stock also. Doesn't trade all that clean. So for that reason, we're going to skip this one. Let's go over to BA. BA I want to watch, guys. BA has been not sure what the deal is, but man,
It was a great trade yesterday.
yeah, it was amazing trade yesterday. Look at the chart, how great this thing traded. So again, they've been fun to watch. They're trading very clean. Usually BA is not as clean when it's trading in this normal just kind of activity. We have several days where we do get some action out of it, but at this price range, it's also a little bit more difficult to trade. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on BA and see what's going on there. Next on our list, we have CCL, another good one that we have been keeping a really good eye on. Look at how it traded yesterday. Just amazing. Beautiful drop here. Very clean. This is one stock that you want to keep an eye on. Has been trading just amazing the last couple of days. So again, they have some good volume. 551 pre-market activity looks very clean at the moment, and they are down 4.3. Next, we have, let's start with the airlines here. So we'll look at some American Airlines, see what they're doing today. They are down 4.2, 411,000 shares traded. Pre-market activity is looking all right, not too bad. Let's see what United Airlines is doing. That's another one also, and we'll pick the best one out of these two. It just seems like always American Airlines tends to get the more volume, right? So right now they have 300 more than United Airlines does. For that reason, I'm going to keep American Airlines. They seem to have a better volume at the moment. Pre-market activity is very similar on both right now. So not one is looking better than the other on the actual pre-market action. Again, but this one just has a little more volume, so I'll prefer to look at that one. SNY, I believe this is a foreign stock. Yes, it is. Foreign stock, guys. Look at the choppiness here, so we'll skip on this one. Next, we have Oxy, which is the oil company we have here. This one at the moment has a good pre-market activity, guys, down 2.7. You can watch it. I prefer not to trade these oil companies. I prefer to trade actual stocks, companies. You can trade this one if you like, but for me, I'm just going to stay away from it. It does have a great pre-market activity now. So this is clean, some good volume on it, 152. Usually they don't have great volume, but obviously with everything that's happening now, volume is going to be a little bit higher on these stocks. As you can see down here, right? Don't take my word for it. Just look at down here, see how the volume has increased over the last couple of days. Also, I like the fact that we're in this consolidation area right on here. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to stick, it's going to be holding this $8, $8.50 level they have all the way down here, plus the one they have down here around 10.60. So again, the volume has increased here. You can see that it has not dropped any lower than this level, so that could be interesting. Good thing to keep an eye on if you're looking to take a trade there for a possible bounce. If we see any kind of strength in the SPY, it could be a good indication to get to some of these levels that we have here, at least the top part of this consolidation range, right?
My concern on these oil stocks, I don't know that there's an end in sight for oil prices going down. So I'm developing any kind of bias on that. That looks like more of a consolidation for another leg down, possibly, than anything. But at the same time, on Oxy specifically, you're trading against potential for Carl Icahn to go and up his stake again if he really wanted to. So one way or the other.
Yeah. I agree with that. Looking at it closer, you're absolutely right, man. It's banging up against that 10 level, so we'll see if it's gonna hold that or if it's gonna drop. We got some more companies coming up here. JP Morgan. Let's look at some banking companies. So JP Morgan is coming up here. Volume is coming in 160. It is down 2.8. So let's look at that one, but also I want to compare it to Bank of America, see what that one is doing, and probably watch one or the other. Bank of America has a lot more volume, also down 2.8, also kind of holding on to this level down here that we have. It could be a good one to watch. I'm gonna watch. I think JP. Yeah, they're both pretty similar right now. I think JP Morgan will be a good one to watch. I think it has a little bit more range, so we'll keep it on here. We'll see how that does in a second. Another airline coming up here is Delta. So Delta has good volume as well, down 3.2. Um, and this could be a good one. So we'll throw Delta. We'll make a decision which one we like to watch out of Delta and American Airlines. Delta seems to be getting some action right now here, so worth watching. We have T. This is AT&T here. So this one doesn't have great pre-market right now. It does have some volume, 109, just barely getting over that 100,000 that we like to see. Down 3.7, very choppy pre-market action over the last couple of days. We're seeing that from a lot of stock, but this one seems to have a nice larger range in the last few days. Other stocks are just kind of smaller ranges, bouncing off a level they're finding now. Waiting to see what's going to happen next, if we're going to get some kind of consolidation or if we're going to get more legs down on the way the SPY is going to react. So that covers our gap resistance. We have not been able to go through our entire gap resistance in a very long time, so that's kind of cool. BYND.
It's a nice break to
It
actually
is
only have 20 gappers, right?
Yep, and we still got 7 minutes to 9 o'clock, so it's pretty nice. BYND is coming up here, down 5.6. BYND. Yeah, this could be worth watching, guys. Let's see how I traded yesterday. I didn't have it on my list, but yesterday it looks like we have a couple of ranges here. Nice drop up once it lost the VY. That was a beautiful trade after our lunchtime here. So you could have taken advantage of that. That was nice. Yeah, let's take a look at BYND a little closely and see what we got going on there.
Beyond the meat.
Yes. Norm, what do you have this morning that you like? And then we'll go over to the chats and see what everybody else is watching.
You know what I don't like? I do like the short and gappers list. I still am nowhere near shaving, so we'll see. VIX, please drop soon. My wife wants to leave me, but she just can't go anywhere because she's quarantined.
There you go.
Let's look at Tesla. So Tesla's actually showing, it's been showing some strength compared to the rest of the market this morning. It's had two upgrades in the last couple of days. One of them was out of JP Morgan. One of them was out of Merrill Lynch, maybe. B of A Merrill Lynch, I think. Let me see. Yep. No, Morgan Stanley was today. Yesterday was B of A Merrill Lynch. Got a couple of upgrades here. Now, given one of them has a price target reduction, the other one has a price target of 500, which is well below what it was trading at just a few weeks ago. That having been said, they also came out. I mentioned yesterday in the pre-market show that they were denied the ability by the state of California to keep one of their plants producing cars because it was considered a non-essential business, which makes sense. But Elon Musk last night or overnight mentioned potentially retooling. I think it was the same plant that they won't let open to produce cars, retooling to produce ventilators, since there is a anticipated ventilator shortage with this virus. So that's one to keep an eye on. I'll be watching it to see if it does anything. It's in a little bit more manageable range. It can still move a lot, but at half the price, maybe it won't move quite as crazily. And then the other one is Zoom. Zoom's up 2.8%. Obviously, this is one we've talked about a lot recently. It had some good trades. It can be very difficult to trade. It usually has a nasty spread. Right now in the pre-market, it's only 20 cents, which is next to nothing for Zoom. But there's a lot of air pockets in the level 2 on the bid. I see actually on both sides. There's a good amount of air pockets in there. It can move back and forth relatively quickly. You got to mind your size and have a reasonable stop on it. But it is kicking up right now, and it looks like it might be trying to go for a breakout. I have a hard time saying that because it went up big that one day and then fell back pretty hard, but it might try for something.
Yeah, definitely. I like the way this breakout is happening here above the previous day close. So interesting to see what this is going to be doing. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on that. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. What do you like this morning? All right, RCL. I think it's Royal Caribbean. Yep, RCL this morning. Yeah, very similar to CCL. What is it? CCL. We have what's the other one? NLCH. It's another one as well. Oh no, I got it wrong. I always get this one wrong. It's NLCHC. Here we go. I forget the ticker, but that's another one as well is moving with everything as well. Another cruise liner. So you can watch either one. I'm gonna stick with CCL for now. I think this one has been trading very clean with a lot of volume. But again, nothing against RCL. That's another one you can also watch. Let's see how it traded yesterday. Similar, exactly what CCL did. Almost the exact same thing. You pull up the CCL chart from yesterday, and you have this same of drop here. So very similar. And then finally found a bottom. CCL did the same thing, found a bottom, and then took off here towards the close of the day. So either you cannot go wrong with either one. I think CCL has a lot more volume right now, 602 opposed to RCL, which only has 72,000 shares traded. Let's look at work this morning, see what they're up to. All right, so
Talk
work.
about bad to trade.
What was that?
Talk about bad to trade.
Yeah, right.
Work is not fun to trade in my experience.
Yeah, no, and this one, guys, I'm not seeing much volume right now. Pretty light on the volume.
No. We're getting called out a ton on WTRH.
Yeah, see that next right here for Amir. WTRH. What's up with this one?
It trades like it trades like a low float. It's not, but this is a penny stock. That's not really what we focus on. Is why we don't talk about this a whole lot.
Yeah. So. Yep. Yeah, it's usually trading here. Oh man, even down to 50, 30 cents down here. So yeah, these stocks are very, very dangerous. You got to be careful with them. Right now, they're popping up nicely here. You can see they had a big day yesterday. They're gapping up today, 67%. Again, we don't focus on these type of stocks. This one is active, so you can watch this one. It does have a great pre-market activity. It has 7.2 million shares traded. It's not a low flow stock. The price action could be a little more difficult to read than we do in our regular mid to large flow stocks. I mean, we love reading the level 2 and kind of paying attention to that. This one could be a little bit difficult to do that, right, with all that volume. So just keep that in mind. Reminds me of, I think it was either INO that also has a similar situation. It's not a low flow, but also can move like this.
Yeah. So I'm going to focus on why I won't look on this just for a second, because for 2 days, people have been bringing this up, and specifically, I'm going to mention it this morning. So this thing's being pumped. I believe they deliver meals is why. So food order and delivery service regionalized in the Southeast is my understanding. So here's my problem. The reason this is popping like this is obviously it's a beaten down stock, under $1 penny stock, not low float, which has its own, set of issues trading. Not saying you can't trade it, it's just not what we focus on. There are people that make plenty of money with low float stocks. They've got a 20-ish% short float. Let me see. Carlos, can you look while I'm talking real quick?
Yeah.
And tell me what it is on PI?
Yep, I'll take a look at it.
And so they've got about a 20% short float and roughly 55 million shares. So round it 50 million, 20%. So it's about a 10 million 10 million of their shares are short. And it's got a decent amount of short in there. This thing traded twice almost. Its volume yesterday was 98 million shares traded. This thing's turned its float over multiple times. And this is now just now a pump, and the squeeze is out of it. I don't want to get stuck in that.
Yeah. I'm always concerned with these type of stocks on the second day. Here's probably the best opportunity. Everybody's in early. You take advantage of that. The second day, just be careful, man. This is not a low flow stock, but these low flow stocks, they tend to get a lot of fake outs on the second day. People that missed the move that are now watching this, we are probably late to this party. Again, you don't want to be involved in something where it starts dropping and just getting a lot of fake outs. So just be cautious on trading these stocks. Hence the reason why we don't focus.
I'm not saying people can't make money on it. I'm not gonna not my ball game to risk that.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Question here: do we think that they're gonna shut down the market due to this virus spread? Well, with that said, I know that they're closing the trading floors, right? That came out. So they're going to be closing the trading floors. I don't think they're going to close the market. Yeah, Monday is happening. I don't think they're going to do that. Things got to get, I think, a lot more worse than what we have now for that to happen. Norm, what's your take on it? You've been trading and watching the markets for some time now.
I told you guys, last week that I thought they'd close the markets? If we have 1 or 2 more days like yesterday, yes, I think they'll close the markets.
Yeah. I don't see it happening.
And they won't, like they announced yesterday that they're closing the NYSE floor starting Monday and going to a completely electronic trading.
Yeah.
I think they had two people on the floor tested positive for coronavirus, and they just had gotten the test back, so they changed over to that. they're not going to tell you in advance if they close the floor. It'd be like a run on the banks. Everybody'd be trying to get their money out. But I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing for the markets. The way they've traded is it's unhealthy. This yo-yo action, limit
Yeah, yeah.
down, pop up 7%, limit down, pop up 5%. It's just not a good thing. Um, you know, hopefully, knock on wood, now that a lot of the country is shut down, except for the idiots on the beach in Florida for spring break. Um, a lot of and that's a different thing. I won't go off on that, but a lot of the country is shut down. Maybe this we'll see the benefit of that here in the next few days. The median time for incubation of the virus is 5.5 days. So if everybody shut down effective like Monday, maybe next week we see something. If they shut down for a few days, let everything settle, maybe we have some optimistic news and it won't be just complete bloodbath going on. I said I thought they'd shut the markets at some point last week, I believe, to you guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
anyway,
I do
that's just
remember
my
that. Yeah.
thought.
We'll see, man. The worst that could happen is that people that are great traders during regular market conditions are losing their shirts during this time, right? That's the worst that could happen to people. So hopefully people are being cautious and knowing that this is not regular market conditions, and if you're not great, reduce your number of trades. Reduce the amount you're risking big time. All right, guys, let's go. We got a quite bit of a list here. Let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and see what we have as far as levels. We'll finalize our list and we'll go from there.
Yeah, guys, real quick. So Thor's level 2, we had amazing turnout for that last night, and we had great response. We've got a number of emails, a number of people in the chat have talked about it. It was really a phenomenal webinar. I got to watch most of it. My kid was going a little bit crazy, didn't want to go to sleep last night, so I'm going to have to go back and watch it like everybody else. The recorded version should be in the Education Center later today. Next week, we've got Ed Martin of Average Joe, and also hopefully we'll be able to talk Thor into doing a second one, a follow-up at some point. Ed Martin, Average Joe Trader, he'll be talking about trading after hour earnings next week, which earnings season will kick off here in about, mid-April. So about 2.5 weeks after that webinar. Then on the 1st, we'll have Stephen Goldstein, trading psychologist, has a great podcast, Alpha Mind podcast, talking about his golden trading guidelines. You can also follow him on Twitter, really phenomenal Twitter follow at Alpha Mind 101. That'll be on the 1st. Next Tuesday, we've got Dr. Katz, our in-house psychologist, trading psychologist, performance coach. That will be our live Q&A. The format similar to the lifetime mentoring webinars where you post your questions in the forum. Maybe he'll post a link to that. He'll answer them if there's any time left over. He'll take questions live in the chat room, in the classroom. We do have the 40% off discount for March going on of the lifetime membership single payment option. The promo code to that is St. Patrick's, no period, no apostrophe. Once again, it's St. Patrick's. If you need the link to that, we can give it to you, just to ask. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount for a week. Promo code for that on the intro membership when you sign up is pre-market 24. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. That's what I got.
Some levels here. So let's start over with, I was looking at FUGIF. Someone mentioned that, but this one doesn't look all that good. Yeah, this one doesn't look all that good. This is very, very nasty. Even the daily's like, what is happening here? So yeah, we'll skip on that. All right, guys, so we have Uber, TCOM here, which is Trib, BA, CCL, American Airlines, JP Morgan. We have Delta, Beyond the Meat, Tesla, and ZM. I think these are all great stocks. You can really fine-tune what you want to watch, but we're going to go through all of them and get some levels. I think all these are trading very well this morning. So let's start over with Uber. Uber is nice because it is up 7% this morning with some really good volume. It started to get going here around 820, 835 or so. Something came in, got a nice little pop here above the previous day closing, kind of breaking out through some of these levels in the pre-market, plus some of the levels we had yesterday in after hours. So again, worth giving a look at what's happening with Uber today. High of our pre-market sitting at 1617, so we're going to mark that down. The low of the pre-market sitting below the low of the previous day close around 14 41, but I do like the previous day close as a more important level to have on your list on here. Right now, highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered, guys. You have this one here off of yesterday, this one here of the day before. Also, you have several days kind of bouncing off of that. You got some moving averages coming in slightly above the highs from 2 days ago, but overall, you got great levels towards the top here on Uber. Just going to quickly look at the weekly, monthly. Actually, this is all-time low for Uber, so there's not much we have below the low of yesterday. So that is the only level you have towards the bottom as support. There's no more history heading down towards this area. So Uber looks good, guys. I like the pre-market activity this morning. Again, volume starting to come in heavily. Hopefully that continues to stay like that and create a beautiful pre-market activity for Uber this morning. Here is TCOM. TCOM continues to not do anything all that great, but this could be a great possible. As Norm mentioned, they have some possible news behind it. So I'm going to throw it down here as a possible stock for us to watch. As far as levels, I think you pretty much got some stuff going on here. Highs and lows from the last two trading days has been got you covered, and also you got the previous day close towards the bottom. You got some moving averages coming in towards the top, but overall, I think you're good on TCOM as a good possible to have to see if any breakouts or any movement is going to happen there. BA, guys, I mean, this stock trading at before all this mess at 350 down at 97 bucks. So just unbelievable drop for Boeing this during this time. Right now, their low of the pre-market is 94. This stock has been trading very well, traded very clean yesterday as well. If you looked at the 5 minute, you look at yesterday, look how beautiful this is. It took a while to get going, a little bit choppy here the first 25 minutes or so, but you had some good scalping opportunities, right? There's nothing wrong with scalping. It just requires you to be a little bit faster, more aggressive on your entry and exits. You cannot be hesitating if you're going to look to scalp, especially in those first 5 to 10 minutes, right? Especially more so now with the type of market. But overall, it settles down. It looks like about an hour and 45 minutes in. Then does a beautiful pop, retests the high of the day, and just look how great this traded, giving us some good opportunities, getting toppy again around this same area, and then a beautiful drop to VWAP, and then lose the VWAP, and then that's when you got the real nice big move. So hopefully you guys took advantage of that trade there. So BA is worth watching today, guys. Right now, you got your highs and low at your low at 94.30, as I mentioned before. Your high pretty much sitting above the previous day close. I'm not going to mark it down. I think that this level here, the high from yesterday and the previous day close, are two more important levels than really the high of the pre-market at this moment. Above that, you do have your high from yesterday, but I am going to mark down the opening and closing of this day here 2 days ago, because this is a big pop to get to, and you're probably going to have some loss of momentum in this area. Also look out for 120, 115, and 110. Those are areas you're going to probably have some loss of momentum as well, those whole dollar numbers. Let's take a look at CCL this morning. CCL has been a great one to watch. I think Thor has watched this stock just like me almost every single day. He's probably traded it more than me. But it has been really, really good to us, guys. Just look at the moves. Look how clean this is. And it's done this a couple of times, too. It pops up. You wait for the rejection. You take it short and set your stop above the moving averages or the high of the candle, whatever is closest to your entry. And just look at the drop. Right, has done that several times. Not saying it's going to do that today, but look out for that possible play, right? Also look out for engulfing patterns. I took a great trade a couple of days, did a beautiful engulfing pattern. We took it short, and the drop was amazing. So again, look out for that. CCL has been really, really fun to trade. Our low of our pre-market is sitting at 858 this morning on CCL. We're getting a pretty much of a bounce here. Looks like this thing wants to go green. Another one you can watch is RCL. Someone mentioned it on YouTube as well. It's another one that's good. Has a little bit less volume, but they're all reacting pretty similar this morning. Above that, you have we have 110 here. Not sure, probably a market high, but we can remove this one right now. Look out for the whole dollar numbers, guys. 10 and 11 at this point. Your highs and lows are well above this area, so we have a nice little gap here. You can go back into your, if you want to put some more levels in here, you can look at your some of the levels we have pre-market here and post hours. Post hours as well, like 980. After hours, you have a 980 level here that you had basically did this level when it dropped here in the intraday yesterday. Also at the after hours, you see several times it tested at 980. So maybe that could be something important to have on there. It's a good midpoint between this gap that we have here. American Airlines, guys, also bouncing back a bit here, down 2.9, was down a lot more than that this morning, kind of recovering. Looks like we're trying to go green at least for a little bit here. Low of your pre-market sitting at 1068. Your high sitting above the previous day close over at 1208. So let's see if we're going to test that 1208 again and go above pre-market previous day close. As you can see here, we kind of touched that a couple of minutes ago, so we'll see if we can get going here. Above that, we've been watching this stock quite a bit, so you got plenty of levels, guys. 1314 is one here. Got a nice support happening here. 1402, also another level there. You also have your highs and lows listed already here on American Airlines. JP Morgan is I'm probably going to watch this one instead of Bank of America. I'd like to watch how this one's going to react. Right now, pre-market is bouncing back a little bit, as low as 79.90 on this stock. We're up at 81.96 now. So again, nice little bounce back happening here. Let's see if we could get towards that previous day close line. Very similar to a lot of the stocks we have this morning. A lot of them went green for a little bit, a small part of the pre-market this morning. Dipped back down and are trying to get back up there. Our high on this one is 84.31, so we'll mark that down. Oops, a little all the way down here, 84.31. Here we go. So here's our high of our pre-market. Very close to the previous day close, so we'll see if we can test that out in a couple of minutes. Here is Delta Airlines, guys. Another one also trying to go green as well. Your low of your pre-market sitting at 21.81. Your high of your pre-market sitting at 24.50. So you got great levels there. Also, you have your highs and lows right on here as well. Here is BYND, also one that has been taking a pretty nice hit. Also traded very well last couple of days. You have some good little drops here, nice engulfing pattern here. The pullback here is way too strong though. If it was not for that, this could have been a beautiful drop below the VWAP here. It does settle down, so you got some really good moves on here as well. Lose the VWAP. Look how great this trade was after it cannot kind of regain the VWAP right on here. So good stuff to watch here on BYND. Let's see if it's going to recover or if it's going to go for another leg down. Doesn't look as strong as everything else we're seeing. Everything else that is kind of bouncing back. It's very close to the previous day close line. This one not as much. So we'll see how the volume reacts in the next couple of minutes. Low of our pre-market sitting at 50.41. Our high slightly above the previous day close. Again, very similar to what a lot of these stocks have been doing. They all came up here in the pre-market, early pre-market, and were above or green actually for the day. Dipped down and are trying to find some kind of bottom and bouncing back towards this line again. So let's see what kind of open we're going to have today. Here is Tesla. Oh, Tesla's got a nice little pop here. All right, Tesla's got some volume coming in. Yeah, Tesla's got some action, so definitely worth watching this morning. We got some good stuff happening here. Going red to green right now. High of our pre-market 380 with 71. We got plenty of levels here. Highs and lows, guys, got you covered above your high of your pre-market right now. Let's see if we're going to test that pre-market high. We had very early on, right? A lot of the pre-market highs you're seeing are from 4:30 this morning, kind of part of the move of what they were doing yesterday after hours, kind of bouncing back a bit and then opening up around that area today. So we'll see what Tesla does, guys. Volume coming in very heavily. Nice big pop here. Look at the last couple of minutes, how great that has been trading. Last one but not least, Zoom, ZM this morning again continues to rip a little higher. Did break above this 122 level we had here, so that's good. Pre-market high now is being set at 124.50, so let's mark that down. And then we have our next level. I believe we're all-time high with this stock. Our next level is 129.89, which is the all-time high right in here. So let's see if we can get back to that pre-market high as well. This one also doing a nice 4.1 up this morning. So that's great there. Now let's look at some low flow stocks, guys. This is a possible. We went over this one already. APDN, I'm not going to be watching this one, so we'll just get rid of this. The one I do like here this morning, CODX, has been, again, pretty interesting. Me personally, I'm not going to watch it, but if you're into that, you can watch that. BMRA is another one as well that has a beautiful pre-market activity, guys. Your high of your pre-market on this one is 1748. What's the float on this again? This is 7.7 million shares flow, almost 8. So again, very low flow stock. Be cautious. Have we been up here before on this one? Let's go back on the monthly. Doesn't look like we have been anywhere near double digits. Nope. So this is no real levels up here, guys. But again, we have a really nice pop here on BMRA. As usual, be cautious with these type of stocks. Let's look how it traded yesterday. So again, yesterday was pretty much, had a decent pre-market activity, pretty much flat for the entire part of the morning. Then we had the beautiful breakout around 11:30. Look how great this traded there. So again, just be cautious on this stock. Also took off nicely after hours. After hours also had a nice big run up. Did hell for the most part. A little dip here this morning. Probably people taking profits after waking up and seeing how great their P&L looked, which is, again, don't have any FOMO just because I said that. Nice double bounce here, and you can see how it's hitting up to 1748. So again, really aggressive moves, up 60% this morning. APRN right now, this is one over the last couple of days, guys, just ripping. So right now up at 25.50 is the high of the pre-market, up 40% this morning. Volume is 1.5. This is probably the low flow of the day. I would prefer to watch APRN aside from BMRA, because BMRA, guys, again, it's just you want to be cautious with this stock. It hasn't been up here before. I'm not sure what their business is motto is happening. At least at APRN, you do have some kind of idea why
They
this is
apparently have a
happening.
10-minute test. They have 10-minute
Mm-hmm.
test for the virus. It was the news, I believe, on that.
Oh, okay.
Which one were you talking about? BMRA?
I was talking about BMRA, yeah. So they got a 10-minute
Yeah,
test.
they've got a supposed 10-minute test
Mm-hmm.
that they're shipping samples of for the virus.
Gotcha. That could be interesting, guys. You got a lot of companies, again, reaching out to try to get this test done as soon as possible. If it's great, one of these is gonna take off pretty nice here. But again, me personally, I would rather watch APRN, excuse me. I think this one has a really good market activity. Has held this as well, guys. It's getting pretty extended in the daily, so just be aware that if you're going to trade this one this morning. All right, folks, that is what we have. So we have Uber, BA, CCL, American Airlines, JP Morgan, one of the banking stocks, Delta Airlines, BYD, Tesla, and Zoom. You cannot go wrong with any of these, and I'm sure there's some other ones that popped up here that are going to be looking good as well that you can watch. I'm going to fine-tune this list a little bit more just to watch 6. I'm going to get rid of Delta Airlines because I already have American Airlines, so I'll get rid of Delta. We'll get rid of that one. BYD, I'll watch, bouncing back a little bit here. Tesla is good. ZM is great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still got way too many. You know what? As we get closer to 9:30, I'm gonna watch what Andrew's watching, what Brian is watching. I know Norm, you're gonna send out your list in a few minutes as well, and then I'll fine tune this based on that, based on what everybody else is watching. That can maybe they have something here that I don't have that could be great as well. All right, folks, that is what we have. Thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you guys being with us here every morning. We'll be back again 8:30, which is actually Friday. I thought today was Friday, but tomorrow is Friday. So we'll be back to end the week and see what this market has for us today. So again, right now, SPY is still green, 3.7. Excuse me. No, that's not the SPY. That is Zoom. No. We're not green.
It's red, but not by much. 0.5%, just about.
Here we go. Yep. All right. So let's see if we can go green for once. Again, we were down about 2.5 or 2.9 or something, which almost seems like nothing at this point. So we'll see what the SPY is going to do today. It's going to be interesting to see what this open is like after this last couple of days. We've been dropping and we're kind of somewhat holding. At least 2 days we're trying to hold some kind of support level here. So we'll see what it does there. Take care, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time.
Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That was great, guys. Thank you so much for that. And it seems that the market is a little bit stabilizing, so that's good. We're sick of just seeing 10%, 10%, 10% down.
Yeah, good morning.
All right.
Everyone.
So, good morning, Brian. How are you?
Good. We've got Quadruple witching hour coming up on Friday, which might influence some market action here, especially if some people have been short on the market. Yeah. So we may get some buying pressure. We'll see what happens.
So that's interesting. Yeah, that's great. So I see the BMRA is up. I didn't get the news. Is it a news about a vaccine or something?
Yeah. They have some test, apparently. A quick test.
That's great. Boeing is down at $97, 5% again. There's nothing to stop that. CCL is below $9. Yesterday, it was $12. And yeah, I think I want to trade AMD for today. I think I want to trade AMDs on behalf of the market. Uber is really nice. The price range, I like the price action right now. Lyft is not as active as Uber, so I keep Uber. CCL, I want to keep it. I think we still have a lot of shares for short. Yeah, I think we still have a lot of shares for short. That's for sure. Oh, shit, sorry. So I'm going to